50 minutes to go. So,
okay, yes, people, we are here. Younes right there was just reminding me that there is the Champions League later on, so we have 50 minutes to discuss this because I know the majority of you are going to be gone as soon as that whistle goes, and I don't blame you because we're here because we love football. But everybody in the comments in the chat, big up yourselves. Thank you very much for being patient and waiting. We are 11 minutes late, but we are the stars of the show, as Lee Gunner says. You get me? But big up all of you. See a few familiar faces there. Shane the Investor, Jake Jobert. You see my French, my pronunciation, man says Jobert.
hey,
You
all
get
right,
me?
you know.
Yeah, Waylon Barreto. Yes, you were very early, but obviously my bad. Siddharth and the rest of the gang, big up yourselves. But we're here to discuss the ongoing saga with the Chelsea takeover. Now, we've had talks about this situation with the Saudi group that looking to buy Chelsea. Now, this isn't a new story. This has been out for the past couple of days. But the purpose of this live, why I wanted to do it, was not so much to just strictly look at the potential buyers, but also to discuss the different types of infrastructures that they may or may not offer if they are to buy Chelsea. And what I mean by that is it going to be the approach where we're going to continue to try and be self-sustainable and build on what we have, i.e. the youth academy, and buying one or two players to fit the system, sort of the similar direction that Liverpool are going in? Or are we going to go down the direction of the quote-unquote sports washing, which means, if you don't know what that means, it's basically throwing money at the best players and just having that as a solution, shirt sales and all of that stuff. So that's what we're going to discuss. But first, let me ask Younes. It's been forever since we spoke, bro. I gotta know how you're doing, bro. Flip, we gotta catch up in it.
We do, don't we? Yeah. I mean, except for earlier on Lee's channel, that was the first time in time. So yeah, man. I mean, yeah, I'm glad you're better and everything's all good on your end. But yeah, now we're back. We're back properly. So I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, we are. And to those that didn't know, I had to take an unexpected couple of days off. I was down. I was sick. I think it was the vid. I'm not too sure, but I was just down and out, choking, coughing, sneezing, all of that stuff. So I wasn't trying to put that on camera. But we're going to talk about the Saudi private consortium. So basically, so the private consortium is led by Saudi media. They've registered an interest to purchase Chelsea. Younes.
So there's a Saudi consortium.
Right.
Okay. Makes
so
sense.
This is I'm just reading what this report is saying, and this, I think it's paraphrased from Nizar Kinsella's goal report, but I got this from, I think, Absolute London or something like that, what they're called. The bit I was supposed to paste didn't paste. Well, oh well. Hopefully I'll get that right. Absolute Chelsea, I think, one of the two, something like that.
Yeah, Absolute Chelsea.
Okay, so as we know, there are at least 10 serious buyers. So they are not the only ones. We already know about Todd Boehly and the Swiss consortium together that are interested in buying. And the new development has come out on that, apparently. Matt Law has come out with something. We're going to discuss that as well. But this Saudi group are a fund that, quote unquote, they're a fund that are heavily involved in funding media, advertising, and sports brands across the world, according to Goal, and are now interested in acquiring Chelsea. The Rain Group, this is the bank that's in charge of selling Chelsea over here in New York. So if they're getting in the wrong buyers, I will be outside them offices being like, oi, you leave my fucking club alone.
Big up. Big up.
Yeah. You don't go near my Chelsea. Yeah. They'll be like, how did you get over it? I'll be like, don't worry about how I got over here. Just worry about not buying Chelsea. Just don't buy Chelsea. So they actually came out and they said this, which obviously you take with a pinch of salt when it comes to bankers and money. But the CEO, Joe Ravitch, has stated that the sale will not be rushed. Quote unquote, we are not going to rush anything. It is very important that Chelsea have the right owner to guide the club forward. Now, in terms of this Saudi private consortium, Younes, that is basically all that we know about it. But the stereotype, rightly or wrongly, will be that it's Arab money coming in and we're just going to spend on the top players and we're going to move like Man City and PSG, which brings us on to the focus of the topic. Now, we're going to come on to Todd Boehly in a minute, right? But I want to just remind the people why we're doing this. So we'll start off with that sort of approach. So let's say hypothetically, this is a very, very wealthy group of consortium where money is not a problem for them. Is just so from a personal perspective, would you mind having a group like that? Bear in mind that they come from I'm not saying this in a bad way, but they come from Saudi Arabia, where there's a lot of like human rights violations that are going on. That I mean, this is all public. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that's going on. So like, is that the kind of model that you want to take at Chelsea Football Club if they're willing to spend frivolously?
I mean, it's mad with the Saudis. It's a bit mad because, I mean, look at Newcastle. You know, like they've been taken over. The passed the tests, Premier League approved, FA approved, everyone approved. Are there human rights issues in terms of the owners at Newcastle United? No. In terms of the fund and who is on the board of that fund, yes. You know, so it needs to be studied. It's not black and white. It needs to be studied. Personally, you can go one or two ways with all of this, because before I would have been like, hell no, absolutely not. No, I don't want anything connected with anything like that. No. But then, you know, you grow, you learn, you become a little wiser, you realize, and I mean this in a good way, people that are absolutely minted and loaded, right, to that level, have all dabbled their hands in some dodgy stuff.
Yeah,
like,
and
you
I'm
know,
glad, and I'm glad you said that, Younes, but go on.
Hence why Roman's selling. You know, he's been connected with Putin, you know, and you look at, it's funny, I saw a video yesterday that was going back to when Trump was in office, right? And I shared it because, you know, as much as I disagree with Trump on a lot of things, on that point, he was right. In terms of, oh, you're friends with Putin, you're friends with a killer. And he goes, what, are we so innocent? You know, and the guy's like, well, but there's no world leaders that are like killers. And then he was like, yeah, no, trust me, there's a lot of killers. There's a lot, right? And it's true. At that level, it's ruthless at that level. Things that me and you don't know about. So
yeah,
when you're talking about money and where it comes from, man, all of it is corrupt at that level. So when I'm thinking in terms of who's going to take over Chelsea, if there is a direct link from, you know, the owner of the club or one of the owners, if we get a consortium who is directly involved in something mad, I would want to distance myself. I'd be like, this is a bit crazy. If it's approached in the same way like Newcastle, for example, where clearly it's not an offense and it's just, you know, the fund is connected to someone who might be on a little bit of a madness, right? That doesn't involve Chelsea. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. So preferably, I would want someone who's not connected with anything. Absolutely. Yeah. But ultimately, if it comes to it and someone, you know, if we get a Saudi group, for example, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm completely against that.
No, absolutely. And here's the thing, and Younes, you're 100% right, is anybody with that type of wealth, 9 times out of 10, or a lot will say 10 times out of 10, they didn't get that all ethically at all.
Yeah.
So it really and truly, unfortunately, it's about choosing the lesser of the evils.
The lesser of the evils, exactly.
You see what I mean? Yeah, but then at the same time, you can't go with full ethics. You also have to go with somebody who's realistically able to sustain what we have and take it further. So that's so you're really stuck in between a rock and a hard place. But in terms of the Saudi media, again, we don't know who's on there. But
no. That needs to be studied.
Yeah, that definitely needs to be studied before we get ahead of ourselves. But that kind of approach in terms of sports washing, quote unquote, I'm going to be using that. That's the first time I heard. I think I heard it was Jan that said it.
The
Chelsea guy. Yeah, he said it. Sports washing. So he got that in my head. Big up Jan. But it's one of those. Yeah, but it's one of those ones where look. We have that kind of owner. They come into the club and they start throwing money at the situation. Now, look, to many, it sounds exciting, but we have a model further north of England, aka Manchester United, that have been doing the same thing. Their wage bill is completely out of pocket. They're just throwing money at players at young ages that they should be getting towards the end of their career. And this causing a lot of problems in the dressing room It will cause problems in the youth academy in terms of blocking certain players' progress coming into the first teams, etc., etc. So we have to sort of be careful what we wish for, especially with the model that Chelsea is. Now, when you take it into context and you look at Newcastle, it's perfect for them because they're at a level where they're not competing for Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, this, that, and the other. So they can throw money at a project where a higher standard of players as a whole is going to join Newcastle and hopefully raise the level of the club so they're finishing higher in the table. We're already thereabouts.
Yeah, that's true.
True. So in terms of who's taking over, it makes a difference, Younes. So the point of me saying that is just that I want to kind of open the minds of the people that are listening in the chat or who'll be watching later on.
I mean, even with Newcastle, sorry, if you look at Newcastle, credit to them at the moment because they seem to be building correctly. They've got all the money in the world. The fund that they have access to is ridiculous.
It's bottomless. It's ridiculous. Bottomless.
It is actually bottomless. It's basically flipping oil at this point. Like, just, you don't have to pay in paper and cash. You can just pay in oil. Like, it's ruthless. So, the fact that they're going for players like Trippier, you know, and they're going for players like Wood, and they're basically they're reinforcing slowly but surely. They're not trying to go and get Mbappe. You know, they could, but they're not. They're being realistic. So I think the build is quite logical, and they're doing it correctly. So fair play. But yeah, with us, we're already there. Although if we were to get a Saudi group, I think that would piss them off a little bit. I have to say. I think Newcastle would be like, "Oh, come on, man! You guys are always just on us. What's going on?"
Nah, I'd love, honestly, if you was asking me, Guni, do you want a bottomless pit of money at Chelsea? I'd be a lie if I was going to say no. So if that's the case, I wouldn't mind that. But again, it depends on who is overseeing that and how it's spent.
Yeah.
But
that's the most important thing.
Big up yourself, Sasuke. I can't say the last name again. I'm professional at butchering names, so let me allow that. Yeah. Anyone know anything about this Bayrak guy? That's the thing. From most accounts, not many people really know. Apparently, he's a friend of Roman Abramovich, and tied up with that, everybody's hoping for a buyback clause, hoping that it's Roman's brethren. When things kind of go subside, Roman will come in and be like, "Yeah, give me Chelsea back." That would be the utopian thing for me. But again, I don't know who this guy is. I don't think many people do. There's not really too much out there. But
only Turkish people seem to know to an extent. Like, you see some Turkish people like, "Oh, yeah, Bayrak." I'm like, "All right, tell us some info, please."
Yeah, so it's
all I know is that he bought Kamala Harris's apartment in DC. That's all I know.
Oh yeah.
And he owns some $billion dollar revenue company that does construction. So if we're looking for a new stadium, fantastic. He could just bring his company.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So if he's connected in the constructions and that, who knows? Yeah, in terms of the build of the stadium, who knows? Hopefully that's
and crypto. He's involved in crypto as well. He wants to do his own. He wants to do his own thing. I think his own mining or something. I don't know, but yeah.
Interesting. Because if Roman does want to recoup some money, then anyway, that's the way. If you know what I'm talking about,
invest in his best friend.
Bro, listen, well, if he's got anyway, listen, that's their business. I'm not gonna start conspiracy theories and pointing towards certain things. You get me? But it is what it is. Let's see what happens there. But AF made a very good point. Roman was in Dubai the last couple of days as well as Istanbul.
Is that legit?
Joey
is that true?
I don't know. Joey also said that he was in Saudi Arabia. Big up, Joey. But what I heard, was that he was actually going to the Middle East and the UAE is what I personally heard, to transfer his assets over there.
Because fair play, innit?
Yeah, so that's what I mean. But then obviously you can see why the rumors would kind of be like, he's moving his assets over there. Maybe he could establish a relationship with somebody who might buy Chelsea over there. So you never know. It could be a valid connection. It might not even be that. It might even be that he's gone to speak to somebody about selling the club to them. So I don't know. Again, this is speculation. I don't even know if the rumors are true. Again, Younes was like, is that true? We don't know if it's true. Okay, look, AF says it's true. You could track his private jet.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, because I did see some people put up images of, flight trackers, and it showed his private jet, but I don't think he has just one, unless he just has one and it's the same plane going from place to place. But yeah, there was one that was tracked in the Middle East, so Dubai. I think it was tracked in Saudi.
Okay.
I think it was tracked in Istanbul as well. So if he's moving about like that, then fair play to him. He's not sleeping unless he's sleeping on the plane. That's about it.
Well, I mean, a lot of people in the chat are co-signing it. They're saying there's a kid that's on Twitter, Oligarch Jets, it's called, that tracks the planes of Russian.
Jets.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
it's probably an Arsenal fan. They probably switched from like Alexander Isaac tracker to Russian oligarch tracker.
They went, yeah, we're good at tracking planes. I might start a career at this.
Yeah, exactly. So it could be that. But I mean, if that's the case, there could be several reasons. Again, it could be that he's transferring his assets, or he's looking for a buyer. Hopefully he's looking for a buyer with a bottomless pit. That would be great. I mean, but yeah, this was supposed to be a discussion about like looking at the different sort of infrastructures we could have. I've kind of given myself away saying I wouldn't mind a bottomless pit of money. Some people are going to say like, well, this and that, but you've got your own preferences. But then there's the other approach. Now, I'm not saying Todd Boehly is going to be like this, because if you look at Todd Boehly, I think it's the Dodgers that he owns, baseball or something.
Part owner of the Dodgers, yeah.
But that club, like, apparently from the Americans that I speak to, they're really into buying like superstars and all the best of the best that are coming up. So Matt Law has come out with an article. I'm not going to read the full thing because it is behind the paywall. Don't want to get in trouble for that. But I'll read a few snippets out of it. American billionaire Todd Boehly is waiting to find out whether or not Roman Abramovich will accept his bid to buy Chelsea. So apparently a bid has actually been put in. The Boehly-led bid, which involves Swiss billionaire Hans-Jörg Wyss and one other, so far unnamed businessman, has officially been submitted through the New York-based merchant bank Rain. You imagine that other businessman's Conor McGregor. No, I'm joking. Okay, so this is the last paragraph I'm going to read. It is understood the group are yet to receive a response and that it is unclear whether or not Abramovich will now wait for the 15th of March deadline for bids to make a decision on Boehly's offer. Boehly, who is a part owner of the LA Dodgers, hoped to jump the queue of interested parties in buying Chelsea from Abramovich by making his bid in advance of the deadline. It is understood the offer has been in for around 48 hours. So if rumors are to be believed, Todd Boehly has actually made a bid for Chelsea. You see, I know Joey, big up Joseph. I call you Joey now, bruv. You're gonna have to get used to being called Joey. Joey's let us know here the Dodgers are a bottomless pit. So there you go. So if this is the thing, like, he may be a bottomless pit for the Dodgers, but we already see with the Kroenkes, like, what they're doing at Arsenal, it might not translate over to football. But if there are some Americans in the chat that follow baseball like that, please let us know. Keep us informed. But Younes, the point of bringing that up was, hypothetically, let's say that ownership model is similar to FSG over at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Would you mind having that kind of approach?
It's mad. It's a difficult one because my first instinct tells me I don't want any affiliated sports owners from the States. Right?
Hold on, hold on, Younes. I just seen something, and if this is true, I beg you, this is crazy. If this is true, rumors say that the Saudi media is linked to the King of Saudi Arabia. Their network is worth 600 billion. Now, if that's true, that's a bit of a game changer. You know what I mean?
This is funny because Newcastle have links to the Prince, so Bin Salman, and then Chelsea rock up like, no, we're gonna get with your dad instead.
I mean, in typical Chelsea fashion, would you put it past us to do that? Oh my
God, no.
Yeah.
No. That's mad.
Yeah, that's crazy. I just thought I would highlight that because that just kind of, when I saw 600, because I thought he said million, and I was like, well, that's not even going to touch the size. And I said CBN. I said, nah, Okay, cool. But listen, let me just calm my horses. Let's reset.
600 billion, bruv. That's outrageous.
Yeah, so if that's true, I will be. Listen, I will
But
be gone.
I do want to say this real quick here. Obviously, I'm just being real. Okay, if something happens, say if this happened, yeah, if
Yeah.
something happens to the king of Saudi Arabia, right, he passes away, you know, which is going to happen to all of us at some point, yeah, that's going to go down to one of his sons. Okay, now the one in pole position is bin Salman, who's already got links to Newcastle, so this guy is going to potentially own two clubs,
So
Chelsea
that,
and
yeah, I don't know.
Newcastle.
Yeah, true. But will that even be allowed though? Is that
Well,
allowed? Can you own two clubs in
no,
the
that's the
Premier
thing.
League?
He personally wouldn't be the owner of Chelsea Football Club.
But his family
He's
would.
on the board of the fund that owns Newcastle, or that's
Oh
part owner of
shit.
Newcastle.
Okay.
So he'd be, again, part of the fund that's in charge of Chelsea. So I don't know whether you can have two indirect links to two clubs, or if that's not allowed at all. I don't know. That's up to the Premier League.
Okay. Well, let's get back to life, back to reality, because right now it's a pipe dream. I'm not taking it too seriously until I see that it's been announced and that's actually what's in the bank account. Then I might just have a cardiac arrest and just yeah.
I do want to say if that were to happen though, realistically, football's finished at that
Yeah,
point.
it is. Yeah, it
Football's
is.
over.
It would
It's
be
actually
over.
gone.
Yeah, it would be over. To be honest, that kind of money you're just not competing
Yeah.
with it. Man City,
No.
PSG, and Chelsea are just gonna be winning everything, which isn't. Which in hindsight, it's not. Now we joke about it, but it's not a good thing. Honestly, it ain't. But we're gonna go back to the Mr. Todd Boehly.
Yeah, the whole American thing. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
because you asked if I would be okay with that. Realistically, just in hindsight, I look at all of it and I'm like, I don't want us to be involved with an American sports owner just because of the way that it's going for other clubs. Now, that's not to say that it's going to be the same. You never know, but I just feel like there's a risk there. I don't know. That's where, you know, it'd be nice to have insight on Todd Boehly and what he's like and what he brings. But at the same time, as you've said, when you look to Kroenke, for example, he's probably worshipped over in LA because of what he's done with the Rams and all of that. But at Arsenal, he's hated. You know, you don't want that same thing happening here. And that's what I'm looking to avoid. So it'd be nice to have. Then again, you look at Liverpool, for example. FSG got, you know, their backsides kicked, and the fans really demanded that they need to start taking good action. And to be fair to FSG, in the end, they did. You look at Liverpool now, and they've got a really good model. So it's tough. It's tough. You know, I don't know where to really stand with it, but my heart's telling me don't take the risk and get someone in that understands football already.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But then, are we going to have someone who understands football if we have this Saudi group of 600 billion?
It's a good question. It's a good question. It's a good, and this is why I was drawn to the Turkish one. When I was drawn to the to Bayrak, if that's legit, and he's friends with Roman and all that, because it seemed like it ticked all the boxes. You know, in terms of well, having a link to Roman helps already. Being loaded enough to be able to give the funds that the club needs. Being from a country and an environment that are flipping religious on football. Having a construction company, if we need a new stadium, I mean, it just ticks all the boxes.
The boxes, isn't it? Yeah.
You know? That's where I was looking at it going, I hope that one happens. But you're right, in terms of raising the thing on whether Saudis you know, understand football to the level that we need to, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. You're right though.
Well, yeah, again, it's just a time of uncertainty, bro. And you
very
just
uncertain.
And you know, quite a few people, they're still discussing transfers in the summer. And in my head, I'm just like, well, I don't know why we're even discussing this, because the takeover of the club is what's important here. And like, depending on what the owner's plans are, we don't know what's going on. Are the transfer targets still going to be the same? Is there even going to be a transfer kitty available? Are we even going to be allowed to make transfers? Like, we have no idea what's going on. So in terms of like the transfer talks of players that are coming in, personally, I just take it with a pinch of salt because you never know. You just never know. But in terms of players going out, we've already had news that Andreas Christensen looks very likely, well, 100% that he's going to be going to Barcelona at the end of the season. I've seen quite a few people ask questions about that and wanted to know our thoughts on it. But Andreas Christensen now, what I understand with his situation is I mean, but in terms of like when you look at it, I've said it several times here, when you look at it for like reasons as to why he would leave.
Yeah.
Because I see some fans are saying Christensen's a snake, everything we've done for him, and this I don't agree. It's Chelsea's priorities that are just up and down. Again, this guy's being paid less than some players that are not even in the first team, that ain't featured in the first team. Danny Drinkwater's paid more than he is. People don't know these things. You get me? Marcos Alonso, these guys, they're paid more than him. You get me? And at the level of performances that he's put in, surely, based on that principle, he should be getting more than that. If that's played a part in his decision, I won't blame him. I won't. But on the flip side, Younes, though, is that this isn't the first time that Andreas Christensen has acted, well, I wouldn't say unprofessionally, but has kind of kept us on the hook when he came to Barcelona. But I think do you think it's a dream of his to play in La Liga for a team like Barcelona? Because it's been, for me, that's the link that's been consistent throughout his Chelsea career whenever transfer talk has reared its head.
I think now we have a bit more info on it. There's definitely a part of him that wants to go over there. I mean, earlier on, there was the whole news about Barcelona about to finalize everything. Fabrizio Romano spoke about it and whatnot. But it's come out that now it makes sense as to what happened with his dad, because his dad wanted him to stick around. And that's why it was all so close before he changed his reps, because his dad wanted him to stay and it looked like he was staying. Everything was pretty much set in stone until he changed his reps and all of a sudden he's on the way out. That was apparently driven by Christensen himself. So I hear that and I think, there's clearly a part of him that wants to go, you know. He does want to respect that he doesn't go to a Premier League club because he doesn't want it to be against Chelsea, you know, as it is. So for that, fair play. But to go off to Barcelona and a new league and a new challenge, a new country, I think deep down that's what he wants. So, yeah, I think that's 100% now going to be happening. End of the season, he's going to go to Barcelona.
Well, good luck to him. Now,
yeah,
hypothetically, if let's say some of these transfer targets don't happen, or we don't even have any transfers in the summer, do you think we're equipped to at least get a top 4 finish next season if we integrate correctly with the youth?
It's a tough one. Part of me says no, but because I believe, to be honest, I think Arsenal will invest a little bit. I think Man United, Spurs, all them lot have to. There's no choice. They need surgery, major surgery. So they will. If we just stay the way we are, there's a chance that, you know, they'd catch up. Obviously, the one thing that we have in our favor is a Gallagher, a Brozier, even a Colwell, whoever coming in that could help us without us spending a penny. That will probably help us at least a little bit. But there's always a question mark. You need to reinforce, and you need to reinforce in areas where you seriously need reinforcing, and we do need that. We do need that. So
no, we definitely do.
Yeah, going forward, I think this summer is going to be key, especially for the fact that we missed January. This summer is going to be key. We need to invest at least a little bit, and then in terms of the forward areas, we can rely on a Brozier or a Gallagher and see what happens. I reckon.
No, I agree. Yeah, you see, Colwell will ball. Speaking of Ben Chilwell, yeah, you're right. I saw that as well. Ben Chilwell's back doing individual work. I saw that. Yeah, I saw the pictures. So that's a good look.
Well, it's the 8th of March. He might be back for the Champions League final. Who knows?
Who knows? RD's game says Chelsea's working on Koundé and the Leeds winger now. Source Fab. Well, what I heard is that before Roman selling the club, that was the plan. So I don't know what the plan is now. That's the thing. Anything that you hear transfer wise before this takeover has been decided, take it with a pinch of salt.
That's true.
That's that's just being honest. The media just trying to sell stories. There was rumors about Riyad Mahrez, Chelsea going for him. It's true his contract is running out in 2023 or 24, and he's he wants to stay in the Premier League. So that one. Again,
I won't even lie. I would drive that, and that's just me being biased.
I'd love it. No, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. To have him as an option in that team, of course. In fact, not even an option. He's walking into that team and he's playing week in, week out, 100%. So I'm just on Sky Sports News and listen to this: the Russian Football Union to appeal UEFA and FIFA's decisions to ban their national teams to CAS, and we know we've got experience with CAS, haven't we, wankers? Russia's national team have been banned from international competitions by FIFA and UEFA following the country's invasion of Ukraine. However, the Russian Football Union says it will appeal the bans to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Yeah. Now, this because I saw somebody in the chat was saying that means Roman wouldn't have to sell if he was to appeal as well. Now, how that's linked, I don't know. So that's what caught my eye. But I just wanted to see how the two would be linked, because obviously Roman is an individual entity himself. He's not a sports club. Roman Abramovich is Roman Abramovich.
But what is Roman appealing?
Well, let me see if
he's not been sanctioned.
Well, yeah, he's not been sanctioned, but
or
like
punished.
it's something to do with the sale of the club. Well, a good result would be like he won't have to sell it. So,
I mean, this is the thing. I saw this in terms of when Roman's team come out and tried to, the Rain group, saying that they're going to take their time. This isn't going to be rushed. This could be a matter of months. All of a sudden, some people were saying, well, what if he just drags it as long as possible to the point where hopefully maybe things, die down in terms of Ukraine, Russia and all that. And then he just sticks around and doesn't actually end up selling at all, which when I hear it, it's a possibility.
It's a possibility, but like,
I think
that was best for the club though.
But that's the thing. No, if he does that, that's the thing. I think if he even tries to attempt that, he will get sanctioned.
That's what I mean. Yeah, if he thinks
he hasn't been sanctioned because he's going. That's the only reason. So, yeah, realistically, I don't think that's going to happen. Although theoretically, it is on paper a possibility, but I don't think it's going to happen though.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's interesting days ahead. So the Muhsin Bayrak, that's the Turkish guy, innit? Yeah. So apparently he's one to look out for. The Todd Boehly one, and in combination with the Swiss guy, Hans-Jörg Wyss, that's a story that we're hearing quite a bit. And this Saudi group, I've only heard one story, the main source coming from the Zarkin Seller. I haven't really heard much else about it, so I don't know how concrete that is. But again, we just have to really look, there's conditions that Abramovich have that we can't ignore, and one of them is that, look, there may be an owner from somewhere that we would love to have, but Roman and this team might be looking at and saying, well, look, they're involved in quite a lot of human rights violations or this, that, and the other, and we won't sell to them. So don't be surprised, even if that option is there and it's not explored or taken, because look, the last thing that either of us want or Roman himself wants, which is the whole point in this, is for the next owner to come in, take Chelsea 5 years, 10 years down the line, even 20 years down the line, a sanction is coming for them and the club is back to square one. That's not what we want. So just prepare yourselves for that, because I know a lot of people are saying, oh yes, we want this money, this bottomless pit money. Well, there's ramifications that might come with that, man. I just hope Roman doesn't have to sell. Younes, I'm not going to keep you too long because I know the Champions League is about to start. Well, it's kicking off now, isn't it?
No, 15 minutes to go.
In about 15 minutes. So I'm just going to wrap this up. But whoever comes in, again, I'm going to take peace in the fact that Roman is going to make sure that we're going to be in good hands. How much I can guarantee that, I don't know. I'm just taking the gaffer's word for it. I'm like any one of you, but I'd love that. I'd love for it to be a situation where after time passes, everything goes away and Roman stays the owner. That would be the number one ideal situation for me. Even if it was a case where there was a bigger fund coming in, I trust Roman and I love him. I love this guy as an owner enough to just keep him running the club. You get me? But unfortunately, it looks unlikely. But if that's the case, look, many of you want the Saudis or Rome. Yeah, exactly. Saudis or Romans for many of you. Some of you actually think, well, I'm not saying it in a bad way. Some of you think that not all American owners are bad and will be bad for Chelsea. I agree with that. It's bad to paint everybody with one brush. Hopefully we can get an American owner, and Todd Boehly, you know, if he is serious about treating Chelsea the way he treats the Dodgers, that might be a good thing for us. But again, it's not just down to the owners and the money that's spent. It's also down to the personnel who are structured around the club to make this successful. Do you know what I mean? That's also key. So we have to look at what the owners are looking to do inside the club. Are they looking to keep the infrastructure the way it is? Are they going to trust the professionals in there who know football? Or are they going to want to interfere all the time with their money and say, listen, I know you don't like Neymar, or I know you don't like Cristiano Ronaldo, but in terms of, you know, his marketability and this and that and the other, we're going to have to buy him and put him in the team. Yeah. So remember, there are owners like that. Big up Exeter 1985, a big supporter of the channel, says my favorite football talkers. We're about to wrap up actually, but the good thing is about YouTube is that you can always come back and watch it later. But in terms of score predictions, we have Liverpool versus Inter, but Liverpool are in Italy, right?
No, it's
They're
at
in Milan.
Anfield.
Oh, it's at Anfield. Okay, yeah,
Anfield tonight,
there was in Milan the first round. I
Yep.
thought Inter played well there. To be honest with you, unfortunate not to get a better result. But for me, I think it's business as usual. I reckon Liverpool are going to win this. I reckon they're winning this comfortably.
Liverpool are already ahead by a good amount, and they shouldn't be, because Inter missed so much in the first leg. It's ridiculous. But the thing with Inter Milan is that they've got nothing to lose now. They can go all out. I think we're going to get a blockbuster game tonight. And if Inter come back, so be it. I'd love it. But I think Liverpool are winning this. I think I'm going to go like 3-1 Liverpool. 2-1 or 3-1.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 3-1 Liverpool. I reckon they're just gonna put them to bed. To be honest with you, hopefully Lautaro Martinez just has a worldie today and just bangs 3 or 4 goals. Chances are that's just not gonna happen, bro. And Inter are not a one-man team. What a stupid thing to say. But
well, if Inter Milan want to they've got 12 minutes to get a deal done for Lukaku if they.
Hey, hopefully. Hey, Ladimus Prime, big up yourself, my bro. I follow you on Twitter. You're bruv. This guy likes to trigger the timeline, man. So if you're not following him on Twitter, make sure.
Fair play.
Yeah, make sure you do, bruv. Big up yourself, definitely. But my prediction, again, I'm going to go with comfortable 3-1 for Liverpool. I think they will concede, but I think they're going to go through comfortably. Younes, let the people know what you have got coming up.
So tomorrow's going to be a preview for Chelsea Norwich. We play Norwich on Thursday, don't we?
I believe so. Yes,
I think it's Norwich. And then we got Newcastle on the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. I got muddled up as to what order that is, but yeah, game on Thursday. So tomorrow will be the match preview, and then watch along and review on Thursday, and then we move on to see what's popping up in the football world. If anything else has gone crazy or big things happen, I'll give my view on it as well. So yeah.
Yeah, man. So definitely, people, big up everybody that is in the chat. If you are new to the channel, make sure you do hit the subscribe button. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. 1 subscriber at a time gets us there. So your sub matters. You get me? And smash the like button as well before you exit. Right now, it says here we got 166 people in the building, so we should at least have over 100 likes on this one, minimum. You get me? I can't see what the likes are. But in terms of what's coming up on this channel, preview for the Norwich versus Chelsea game will be coming. Make sure you do hit that notification bell as well. Me and Matisse will be going live tomorrow here on the channel as well, so make sure you don't miss that. But yeah, man, Younes, thank you very much for joining me again on the channel, and big up everybody in the chat. You get me? Love to every single one of you, man. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, make sure